best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Stop the madness, keep it 100 with live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100. Call us at 1-866-484-7865. That's 1-866-484-STMK. Stop the madness. Keep it 100. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Check out Reverend Bill Miller's Bible Study radio broadcast live on the new STMK Radio 100 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please listen in and support him as he joins the realm of broadcasting to encourage believers and offer the comfort of God to others across the airwaves. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Also, feel free to contact him for prayer, counseling, and conversation at brobill9608@yahoo.com. That's BROBILL 9608@yahoo.com. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100.
STMK Radio 100. You're listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your host, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a Kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
Good afternoon. It's a Friday afternoon here. STMK Radio 100. We are now live. Welcome Facebook Live, Instagram, Snapchat, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. Welcome and joining us. It's Friday night here in Studio 51. I have my main man sitting in the funny chair. Doug, welcome back and welcome to the crew.
What up, social media? What up, chat room, Snapchat, chat room, cloud, air cloud, the UFO? What's happening, y'all? What's going on?
right now. And you know it's a Friday night and so much stuff is going on.
Friday
We
the
got
13th.
oh no, I forgot it was even the 13th. Don't even talk about that. We want to welcome Facebook
Oh,
Live
lucky day.
right now and thank you all for coming in to us. My main man, Roberto, I'll need you to give us a call later on when we open up the phone lines, man, because we're gonna be talking about some of the stuff that you really want to listen to and got some comments. I know
So make sure
that you
call.
got some information for you, so you make sure you call us because I want everybody out here to hear you. Right now, we're gonna be doing some lot of things going on. So much is moving on.
A whole lot.
A whole lot.
Second week.
The second
Second
week.
week into the new year and everything going on, everything and then some.
But today we're gonna talk about policing in America up front before we start going into the political mode. We got some people calling in from Washington D.C. and we're gonna have Pastor A.J. Thompson on the phone with us later on inside the show. So I want all y'all to stay with us right
Amen.
now. But on the phone we got Officer Saxman. Saxman, are you there with us? And welcome to the show today.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, okay, there you go, man. I was wondering where you was at. You come into the show with your loud TV on your telephone earlier. You made my tech man think we was going crazy
I
there
know,
for a minute.
right?
Yeah, that was
I didn't know
Saxman.
what was going on. I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out. I said, "What in the world is that?" Oh, that's Sax man.
Yeah,
He's
that's
back
Sax
there
Man.
playing with the remote control.
So how you doing today, Saxman?
Okay, getting ready. I'm on duty. Out here patrolling the streets. Out here making it safe for you and me.
Well, we know you making it
Everybody
straight.
else.
You know, let me tell everybody this. Saxman is a law enforcement officer for a long time, and he's a correspondent
Too
and a
long.
pundit to come on the air, and he's going to talk with us for the next couple of minutes on law enforcement issues. And we're not going to let him off the hook neither. We're going to talk about some serious stuff right there. So, Saxman, not to even hit your thing, there's been three major cases that has came out of law enforcement since the first of the year, and I want to get your opinion on it because the chat room do not think that you're going to be for real with it. And the first case I want to bring up and talk to you about is the case in Oklahoma City where the law enforcement officer was arrested for rape, and he got convicted of 13 charges of rape. But the question here in the chat room is that when the one victim came to report it and everything, nobody believed her until she started telling them special places that he went to, and he got caught by his AVL. And for people who don't know what the AVL is, that is the automatic vehicle locator, and that's how the case was caught up in there.
GPS.
So, uh, give us your take on that and let us know what's going on with that. And before you go into that one, the other case I want to bring up is the federal court has upheld the lawsuit against Judge Marilyn Mosley. Prosecutor Marilyn Mosley. And for the individuals on the who out there in our land don't know what that one. That's the case of Freddie Gray in Baltimore, where all the officers was found
Right.
not guilty. Okay. And then the third case was the case of the guy in what was that, North Carolina? No, what's that? Austin, Everton, I think, Everton, North Carolina, where the guy got arrested for stealing his own car. When
Oh yeah.
when he got the chat room is on top of this. So in the chat room, I'm gonna tell you this. Inside the chat room, they have picked the cases they wanted me to talk to you about, and they're on top of this. In Evanston, okay, the chat room just told me it was Evanston, New Jersey. A male was locked his keys in his car and he got a hanger and he was getting the keys out of his car and a lady came past and seen him, and she called the police and said that the guy was still in the car, and about 20 police officers pulled him over, jumped on him, and arrested him for his
Question:
own car.
What was the nationality?
We're not gonna get into that right there because we don't want to let Saxman off the hook. So right now, without further ado, we got our main man Eddie Murphy.
What's going on, Sax man?
Okay, Saxman, go ahead and take care of it.
You need to put some of the stress on that. Don't put it all over me.
We're not putting no stress on you, Sax. Hey, wait a minute. What's the name of the show?
Whoa!
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show, Sax? Okay, my audience.
Keep it 100.
Okay, my audience.
99,
100. My audience want to hear a law enforcement officer be truthful and stand up and speak, make the case. So we're gonna let you make the case.
Here's your chance. Here's your chance. Come on,
Well,
man.
So you got the first case.
Law enforcement. I love law enforcement. I support law enforcement. I think law enforcement and first responders is the best thing in the world.
Sax man, sax man, sax man.
He's sugarcoating it.
Sax man, hey, the chat room right now, Sax man is telling me to tell you to quit crying and talk business. So come on,
man.
come on.
All that laughing and carrying on, man. Come on, we need to hear this now. Come on, we got the popcorn popping.
Okay, let's go to first case. I gave you 3 cases.
Okay, here it is. I'm gonna go to the one with the black guy getting arrested for stealing his own car, allegedly stealing his own car.
So it was a black guy.
It was a black male. I know the case. I kind of followed it pretty good. It was a black male that lost his keys, left them inside his car, something like that, I believe, and was trying to get into his vehicle. He finally made it inside his vehicle. While he was trying to get into his vehicle, a white woman saw him and assumed that he was stealing the car.
How much time they give?
Now, I don't want to say because it's probably still ongoing, so I'm not really sure.
I bet you they didn't give no probation.
Well, no, let's see. They wasn't going to arrest him for the alleged theft, but he had something else on him which made them take him to jail. Now, once they realized that it was his car and that the lady was profiling him, because if you see the video, and if you hear the lady explain herself, she say, "Well, I wasn't trying to racially profile him," and the police officer quickly shut her up. He quickly shut her up because she didn't know that she was on audio, but the police officer knew she was on audio.
Dash cam.
It sounded like, the
Dash cam.
whatever. So,
Big Brother watch everybody. You know that Big Brother watch everybody.
Like I said, I love law enforcement.
Oh, there you go. No. Come on back. Reel that one back in.
I'm going to keep it real. That was messed up.
That was beyond messed up.
But check me. Wait a minute.
But I'm going to say messed up.
But wait a minute, Sax man. Wait a minute. In the chat room, let's make it clear. In the chat room, we have thousands of people. Let's make it clear. Everybody in the chat room knows that police officers and first responders are their helpers and they love them. Okay, so let's not take it to the point for everybody listening. This is we're not trying to bash law enforcement officers, but there are some big cases that has happened since the first of the year, and you haven't heard them because the press is not reporting it. And
why would the press report that?
It's not romantic news. It's what
there you go.
What I call
Wait a minute, what you say?
Oh no! Did you say that?
Is when you got. I'm not talking about having Barry White in the background playing, and I ain't talking that type of romantic news, but when you got Barry White,
Okay, so let me ask you this, Sax man. He got arrested. He didn't get arrested for stealing his own car. That was the initial contact.
He got arrested for what he was doing in his car.
Okay, but how can you get arrested for stealing your own car? Don't they have a computer in there that you can put your picture up and they can see the owner of the car with the picture when the plate and all that?
Background check or something. I mean, they could have run his license or anything. They could have did something.
But
every police car in the 21st century today, since 2000 and I believe 5 or 6, should have a CAD system in their car, like
right,
we do, Sean.
Because they can read something like a couple hundred plates in like a matter of 30 or 40 seconds or something like that, right?
Well, let me wait a minute. Let me go back to this because Annie in the chat room, because I told the chat room we was going to intermix him with the show, so I have to keep my promise. Annie wants to know that what car thief pulls right over and get out the car with his hands up?
hey, Sean,
You can't write
obviously
this.
But you know,
obviously that's what it is.
okay, but you know, the chat room's on top of this. So we gonna say that last case for last. Let's go to this.
It was all that woman that called in. Hello, I'd like to report. It was,
Well,
and I ain't even gonna
here's
say
the
it, but it was
thing.
an N word. He done just took the car, and I seen him. It was my neighbor's car, and he took it, and he.
so Sax, the
Come on, Sax, tell the truth now.
all the officers
All
that,
that laughing and
Man,
carrying
you
on.
was crazy, dude.
Hey,
You crazy.
all the officers that came on scene, all the officers that came on scene at that point in time, and got into that situation. Nobody thought about looking at the plate and looking at the guy and thinking maybe this ain't something right. I mean, we want you
Well,
to
Sean,
explain us to what's going on here.
first thing you do when you get a complaint is you look for the suspect. And when you discover the suspect, you see him, they're in the car, they're walking, whatever, you want to stop the suspect and investigate. So when they pulled him over, when they seen the car, matched the description of the lady that said he was stealing. They
Okay.
pulled him over. He immediately got out the car, put his hands up. So you know.
Then they beat him. Then they beat him and they cuffed him and put him in the back of the
police
car.
officers see a big black burly man jump out of a car.
How big was he?
Wait a minute. Johnny from Washington D.C. in the chat room said the guy wasn't no bigger than 5'3" and about 140 soaking wet.
Okay, so he was. That's what they call big and burly nowadays.
The dangerous guy.
Boy, oh boy, I better stay in the house. I better
Yeah,
lock
you better stay in the house.
lock myself in here. Cause I'm 6 foot and I go about I go close to 220 on a good day. So I better not never come out the house. I'm glad I'm catching the bus.
So we have you. We have all social media up. I want you to know, Sax Man, we are live on Facebook. We live on YouTube Live. We are live with Snapchat. We are live with Instagram. So you're going out across the country on the web and internet. Plus, you know that you can watch yourself on Ustream TV. I want everybody on Facebook. If you can't hear us on Facebook, we got the studio pumped up, but you can go to STMK Radio 100 Facebook page, and you can click on the link and come right into the Studio 51 off that link. We are on Internet Radio Channel 122. We are broadcasting live. We're on the telephone with Mr. Sax Man.
Mr. Sax Man, 98, 99, 100.
I'm hiding from the ex-wife, so I hope they don't have any of those.
Oh yeah, we got every. Hey, you are busted. You are busted. Okay.
Red-handed.
Now, since we put you on the hot seat and you feel the heat already, I want to yell out to Atlanta, one of the 19 cities that we broadcasting live in on internet radio. ATL, welcome. T.Y. Martin, I know you're there.
I know you better be listening to
And all my Atlanta family, I want you to know I got on my Atlanta gear for your playoff game this weekend, and I want y'all to lay it down.
Who Atlanta playing this weekend?
Oh, you ain't got your thing there, do you? And wait a minute, why we talking about that? Dude, you don't know who Atlanta playing?
Who they playing this weekend? I know.
Atlanta.
You got the paper over there.
I got everything over here. Atlanta is playing the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom. But we're gonna get back here, Sax Man. Let me say this, Sax Man, to you. Okay. Explain to us.
Hey, first, can I give a shout out to a buddy man down in Atlanta?
You can give your shout out to anybody. You know you the man.
Well, that's my boy Will Hip Hill and his wife Rosie Hip Hill. They live down in Atlanta. They've been down there now about a little over a year. Now they moved. They left the nigga. I'm kind of mad about that. You know, they're my boys, my people, but they left to go to Atlanta for a better life, and they doing well, and I wish them well. William Hip Hill and his wife Rosie. They're my boys. I wish you well. Thank you.
All right. Now that you have all your shout outs, you're on the hot seat. The chat room is fired up because they got some questions for you, and we're going to really let you have it right now. We're gonna put it into the thing for you, Sax Man. So I want you to tell the chat room how somebody in Baltimore that runs from the police get his spine and neck broken, and everybody get acquitted on it. Okay. Now, how is it that they're able to sue the prosecutor for bringing up a prosecution?
Hold on.
Doesn't she have immunity from her actions in
Yeah,
office.
exactly.
So explain to us
Exactly,
what's
bro.
going
And
on right there.
Sean, once again, this is one of those old romantic crimes that people look for.
Now,
They like.
Sax man, when you say romantic crime, explain
Mm.
that to the people that may not be picking up what you're talking about.
What I mean by that, it's something that's adorable. It's joy. It's love. People love that type of drama. People love to see a black and white issue.
Okay.
A white cops on black people.
Okay.
Black people
Make it plain
stomping
for me.
and
That's right. Talk to
yeah,
it. Talk to
they
it.
love it.
Okay, make it plain.
So tell me this. What is your take on that? As a pundit and as we got you as a correspondent for law enforcement, give us your take and your honest opinion, and let the people know what they should expect and what's happening here.
Well, prosecutors can be sued. They can be if there are any type of malfeasance or malpractices involved, as far as their duties and how they perform them. If there's any type, just like case in point, what was that prosecutor? The shucks, just who's on tip my tongue, I'm about to say it.
Come on, get it out.
With the Duke lacrosse boys.
Oh, okay, okay.
Those three white boys.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, the accused of rape, right? The Deuce Lacrosse case where
Yeah.
Right.
Rolling Stone
That-
magazine just paid out a $7 million payout on that case.
That prosecutor did some foul stuff to those young boys, and he was brought up on charges behind it because it was foul, and it was proven that it was foul. That he set them boys up really bad with all type of false evidence and information. So a prosecutor is really not exempt from prosecution if he's doing things like what this prosecutor did, setting up evidence, making up crap, falsifying statements, going out and getting false information. It can happen. A prosecutor can be brought up on charge. It is possible.
The question now, the chat room want to know, and we want to ask you this question because there's some other things that want to go on. What is the policy here on airlines with carrying guns and ammo? As you know, in Orlando, Florida, no, I take
Fort
that
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale,
Lauderdale.
Florida.
Lauderdale.
Guy walked in, got off a plane and got a weapon and killed a couple of people there after he loaded his gun up in
Please
the airport.
explain that, because I
But-
really need to know how.
But
he was
before you
able to
go
get
into
away with
that, let's go back a little bit because Angela from South Dakota wants to know why the FBI and the Alaskan police gave him his gun back when he walked in there and told him that he was crazy and that he was going to kill somebody.
Do I have to say it?
Please.
Yeah. What's the name of the? Wait a minute. Repeat
Hercules,
what's the name of the show?
Hercules. Keeping
Yeah,
it real.
keep
Keeping
it
it 100.
Okay, go ahead. Let us know.
He's not of the
Come on. Just say it.
the
Say it.
dark-
Come on.
the
I dare
dark
you.
skin.
I
He's not of the dark skin persuasion. Put it that way. He's not of the dark skin
So
persuasion.
you saying he
And
was a
he's
light
been
skinned
of
brother?
The dark skin persuasion. He's not even on the light skin.
He was a
persuasion.
light skinned
He's
brother,
on
but
the-
he was a half breed.
He's on the Caucasian persuasion.
Oh!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Now,
98, 99, 100.
now the question is
They
this.
don't think that he's going to be a threat to nobody because he's on that persuasion.
But-
Had
Okay.
he been on the dark skin persuasion, he wouldn't have not just got his weapon back, not got his weapon back, but he'd have been handed.
Okay, now Joe
Abruptly.
Joe from Boston, Massachusetts, in the chat room says one question to you, Sax Man, is that he wasn't put on a no-fly zone, even though he said that the CIA was telling him to fight for ISIS. They knew that he came into the FBI office and said that he was crazy. They knew that he checked a gun with bullets in his bags at the airport and was getting on a commercial
That's a
flight.
violation. Yeah.
Well, I just got a statement from the FCC, but I was going to bring that back around later. The FCC say that you can carry guns and ammo long as it's in a check bag.
So I can take my gun and my ammo to the airport and check it in.
Yes, you can check it in.
I can check it in.
It has to be in a box.
I
But it
don't
can't
think
be
so.
in the carry-on.
Yeah, you
It
can.
cannot be in the
No,
carry-on.
no, it can't be in the carry-on. It has to be go up under the belly of the plane.
I don't don't think so because I am of the darker skin persuasion is
Well,
what I'm
well,
trying to
okay,
say to
but
you.
but
So if I go to the airport with my gun and my ammo, chances are I'm gonna get cavity shirts
what
after I get handcuffed,
can,
before I get beat up
do
and
you
locked up.
do you owe somebody some money?
Huh? Now, I owe a couple people some
Yeah,
money, but
no,
that ain't
Well,
the
well,
point.
well. Let me say this: pay up before you go to the airport.
He owes somebody.
Yeah, pay up before you go to the airport.
Could be old baby
Now,
mama or
now,
something. Who knows?
Sax man, when he went into the airport, and people don't understand this about the airport because they see all the policemen and they see the TSA agents and they see everybody around. When he went into the airport, he was already in security and in a soft zone. I'm gonna say a soft zone, so to say it what
That's
it
a
is.
soft zone, yeah. That's a soft zone.
People don't understand how quick you can fire 3 magazines from a Glock 40 because that's what he had, a Glock 40.
It's a matter about
That's what I carry.
1.5
Now,
seconds.
right. But the question is this: he fires, and Joey from Orlando, Florida. I'm gonna quote your question. Joey said he fired 3 rounds, which is probably what the clips are. What 17 rounds apiece or 16 rounds? I'm not sure. And he killed some people. Then he dropped the gun and laid down, and he went to jail without a scratch. Now,
What?
Like I said, he's of that lighter skin persuasion.
So-
No, he ain't
you
of
look at
no
the man-
lighter skin persuasion. He of a crystal clear
so
persuasion.
so
Here's a crystal. Because think about it. Here you have a black man who's allegedly supposed to be still in the car that was his, and they slammed him down and
Got his
treated him
behind
like he
whooped.
was
Hit with the
treated him like
PR-24.
he was a duffel bag, get away from him, and they got to catch that duffel bag and quickly slam it back on the ground. So,
well before
he's of that darker skin persuasion.
before
so
but before we before we
who's more threatening to them? That's what they look at.
before
Who's
we
more
end this
threatening to them?
segment right here, because the chat room really love it, and I want everybody to understand is that we are having fun here on the air today. It's Friday night fight. We having fun. We have a correspondent from law enforcement here, and we're not gonna let him off the hook. We're gonna make him answer our questions, and we're gonna make him
Answer the
That's
question.
right. We're not gonna let
Answer
him
the
off the
question,
hook.
man.
So
Hey, listen.
if you
Come on,
pro
answer the
police,
question. No, don't be talking about no listen. Answer the
I ain't
question.
doing nothing else.
the
I ain't
question,
doing nothing else. I'm rolling
the-
right
the-
now.
the
I'm
question
out the car
here-
right now. I'm doing the building check right now.
Right.
So
I'm doing the
answer the
building check
question.
over here.
the question
Quit
here.
avoiding the question.
Here-
Answer the
here-
question, Sax.
Here go the last question before we let you go while you doing your job, and get you in trouble because your boss.
Wait a
for you.
minute. Hold on. You at work?
Oh yeah, he at work.
You at
I'm
work?
on duty like that.
He on duty.
You
I'm on duty.
hold
I
up,
am
man.
That's how-
Where can I get application?
That's how they do it.
Where can I get application?
That's how they do it.
I want to ride
I got
around.
30
What?
I got 30 plus years on. I can do it like
Car
that.
47, please come in. Not right now because I'm doing an interview with STMK Radio 100. I'm keeping it 100. I ain't got time to. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'll get back to you. Okay, what'd you say now, Sean?
Now here we go right here, Sax man. This is the question here. We're gonna get a little serious here. Why is there such disparity in law enforcement and the court system when it comes to the minority and the communities, and why are we facing that in the communities?
Fear factor.
Say that one more time. What you say there?
Well,
Fear factor.
well, that's true because it's what fears the people that's out there. They are what you call afraid of the black man. I don't understand why we're harmless. We don't bother nobody. Now there are some
Y'all's
that's running
kinda
around here acting
aggressive.
a damn fool. Yeah, they are running around here acting a damn fool. They should be dealt with accordingly.
Now
But we're all not like that.
I got a
We're not
question,
all-
Sax
just because
man.
we're black, we're not dangerous.
I ain't trying to cut you off, but I got a
And-
question. Now, when you talk about they're afraid of us, is it because they don't understand that certain people of a darker persuasion of skin color are just because they're loud and sometimes obnoxious and aggressive doesn't mean anything, and they just don't get that?
They don't get it. That's why I made a comment last time you interviewed me, and I said policing used to be where we lived in the city and we dealt with the community that we patrolled in.
Oh,
So
somebody
you got
finally
to know
said
the
it.
people. You got to know the people. You
Somebody
got to know
said
who
it.
you patrol. Yeah, you gotta know the people that you're patrolling. You gotta know them,
Well,
and
Sex
that way
Man,
you know if he's dangerous or he's just a nut. You know, you have to know. You have to live in the community that you patrol.
You
And
got to know you're
if they
crazy.
refuse to live in the city, but see, if the residency law was put in place kind of too late, but it's there. So they got to live in the city that they work in. They get a percentage off housing, which makes it easy for them to say, okay, I live in the city of Cleveland, but I don't have to pay for 50% of my what the house is worth. Fine, I live in the city.
well,
But
Sex Man, I don't mean to cut you off right there, but we got to go pay some bills, and we really, really appreciate you coming on the air with us right here. But I got a question
mhm.
right here. Next Thursday, will you come into the studio live so we can finish having this conversation and everybody can really, really get involved with it?
You want me to come in the station so y'all can attack me personally? Huh?
What? No, ain't nobody gonna attack you,
Yeah,
man. You can leave the
yeah,
car in the driveway
yeah.
running,
I
and
leave the
you
car
can
in the
leave it
house.
outside the building running, and you can have your little chirp with you. But you gotta check your firearm outside. You ain't allowed to bring it in. I'm sorry.
Now,
You're of the darkest
I don't,
persuasion, and you can't bring it in. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't think so. My weapon go anywhere I go. I'm sorry
so
for
Well,
that.
it can go
Hey,
with you. It just can't come in here.
ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Officer Sachs on STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100. Sachs, man, we really, really appreciate you, and we really want to see you come into the studio with us live next Thursday. You're going to make that happen,
Man,
okay?
I am
Thursday.
looking forward to that.
And we really, really, really appreciate you, my brother. And you call
Well,
us back.
if I'm not protected, if I'm not protected and serving next week, then possible
Okay,
come
well,
in and give you guys something like that.
come on in and let us know.
And
And
in the
thank you very
meantime,
much.
stay safe out there, brother.
Yeah, stay safe and watch your
Yes, sir.
six.
I will.
All right, and behave.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do some work, please.
All right, yeah, get to work.
Protect and serve somebody or something. Put the
Bruh, I don't
Slurpee
do
down and go do your job, man. Put the Slurpee down. Get away from the Dunkin' Donuts. Just back
Get a
away.
Krispy Kreme, and
Put the cooler down. Put the bear claw
All right,
back in
brother,
the box.
brother Sachs, man, we appreciate you. And player, don't be so hard on him. Right here, I want to say something before we go out and pay some bills. January 14th, which is tomorrow, is the Women's March on Washington, D.C. Everybody needs to go to D.C. and show support for the women that is marching in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, the 1 Million Women's March.
Please
And
go out
on
and
the
show your
18th
support.
of January, just before the inauguration of President-elect, the National Action Network will be doing a Million Man March also. Get out and show your supports.
Please.
We
Get
want
out.
everybody to know that you have to go out there. We had a little fun with Sax Man, and that's what that was, fun. Nothing personal. It's all on the funny side and the inside.
It was all love. Sax.
Also, I want to give a shout out to our Girl Scouts Troop 71803. They're selling cookies. London Samaya,
Would you guys
Ashley,
like to buy
Alima,
some cookies?
Amir, Krista, and K. Maddie. We wish you all the luck in your cookie sale. Call into the station or go on to STMK Radio 100's page and go and get them girls some Girl Scouts cookies and show our
Get your s'mores
show our
cookies, your
kids some
chocolate
love.
mint cookies.
and player.
Yes, sir.
Player. You
Yes, sir.
are too hard to tell that man to step away from those Krispy Kremes.
No, man, come on now. So you gotta protect. How you gonna protect and serve? You got a Slurpee in one hand,
Facebook
and you got a
Live,
Bear Claw
thank you.
another one.
Facebook Live, thank you for being with us. Facebook, Instagram. We like to thank you for coming in with us right now. Andre Hainsworth, a good law enforcement officer from the old school. Thank you for
Old
joining
school.
us, my brother.
Appreciate
We
you.
are live in 19 cities. We live worldwide on the net. I want all the people out there, if you want to come on the show, if you're doing something, give us a call in the show so we can put you on and promote you and promote our community, because STMK Radio 100 is a black-owned web station, and we're about to take over the net because that's the new things coming in.
Except this probably gonna be the last time y'all gonna get to hear my voice, because Sax Man gonna be hunting for me. He gonna hunt me down and he gonna beat me with a PR-24.
And
Man, I was just playing about the
We'll be
cruiser.
right back. Please stay with us.
AP Radio News. I'm Ed Donahue. Takata has agreed to plead guilty to concealing airbag defects and will pay $1 billion in fines and restitutions. Barbara Quaid is the U.S. Attorney in Detroit.
Takata has admitted to a scheme to defraud its customers by manipulating test data regarding the performance of its airbag inflators. The customers are the car makers who bought those airbags and installed them.
Takata will pay a $25 million criminal fine, $125 million to individuals who were injured by the airbags, and $850 million to automakers that bought the inflators. The leader of the Chicago Police Union thinks the Justice Department rushed its civil rights investigation of the city's police force so that it could release the findings before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. The report says police violated the constitutional rights of residents for years and used excessive force. Eddie Johnson is Chicago Police Superintendent.
For anyone who wears the CPD star, some of the findings in the report are difficult to read, but it highlights the work we have yet to complete to restore the trust between the department and the communities we serve.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch says negotiations between the Justice Department and the city of Chicago on police reforms will continue after Donald Trump becomes president next week. A vote is expected later today in the House on what Speaker Paul Ryan calls a critical first step toward repealing President Obama's Affordable Care Act. Georgia Republican Doug Collins says there are a lot of reasons for repeal.
Instead of lowering costs, the health care prices went up and people have less choice than ever before, which in many cases is no choice at all. This is a failure, Mr. Speaker, and it's time to end.
A thick glaze of ice is covering roads from Oklahoma to southern Illinois, the result of a winter storm that's caused traffic accidents, grounded flights, and closed schools. The Dow is down 15 points. This is AP Radio News. There was a massive and emotional send-off in New York for a police officer who forgave a teenager who shot and paralyzed him 30 years ago.
Hundreds of uniformed police officers helped fill the pews at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Thousands more stood at attention outside for the funeral of Stephen McDonald, a detective who became an international symbol of peace and forgiveness. His son Connor, himself a New York police officer, said McDonald was a superman.
He did more than most able-bodied fathers could ever do with their sons.
McDonald died of a heart attack at 59. David Letterman and two former New York mayors were among the mourners. The eulogists included Adam Graves of the New York Rangers, who Detective McDonald loved, New York's mayor and its police commissioner, who said McDonald reminded cops why they wanted to be cops. Warren Levinson, New York.
Federal prosecutors say they will not charge a deputy who was videotaped tossing a South Carolina high school student across a classroom after she refused to give him her cell phone. I'm Ed Donahue, AP Radio News.
We're here asking people from all over what they think of Lipton green tea. Let's hear what people from Texas have to say. How about China? Germany? How about people from the North Pole? Or Mars? What about mimes? Oh, right. People with their jaws wired shut? Oh. Yeah, a barbershop quartet. Oh, you guys are great. How about race car drivers? What about you, high school glee club, here on a field trip? Well, that settles it. It sounds like everyone loves the taste of Lipton green tea. With its protective antioxidants from real tea, it's not just good for you, it's to you.
Man, I dig inner monologues. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, look, a fillet of fish just sitting here in my mind being all delicious. Hey!
That's my sandwich.
What? How did you get in my inner monologue?
Door was open. Give it back.
Man, get your own invisible sandwich.
Any day is a great day for a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. And right now at McDonald's, you can get 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for only $3.33. For limited time only, prices and participation may vary.
Listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your host, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100.
Don't vote. There's now yelling, why did Trump win? He won because you didn't vote. The same militant language of saying, I don't vote, I don't believe in it. Now you want to lead the resistance to Trump when you helped produce Trump. So we go into an era of resistance.
Lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. If we don't fight, who's gonna fight for us? People had to die for the freedom where we're at today. We can't just do rallies. We have to fight back. There will be casualties on both sides. There will be, because people have to die to make a change in this world. And Trump, enough with your racism. Stop splitting families. Don't split my family.
And you're fearful that you're going to lose friends and relatives to deportation?
Yeah, a lot. Friends.
I think, look, I guess the best example I can give you is the Affordable Care Act. I love this guy. Ran against the Affordable Care Act, how terrible it is, how premiums went up, and we're going to repeal it. Go ahead and repeal
it. Today, because I believe in an America where we're all treated with fairness, dignity, and respect. I work with low-income immigrant clients who are victims of domestic violence, and Donald Trump and his supporters basically said that they don't matter. We've elected, as a country, someone who's admitted publicly sexually assaulting women and saying that he's going to build a wall and illegally deport people.
Mr. Sessions is a throwback to a shameful era, which I know both black and white Americans thought was in our past. It's inconceivable to me that a person of this attitude is qualified to be a U.S. attorney, let alone a United States federal judge.
I abhor the Klan and what it represents and its hateful ideology.
If you were to build a wall from the Pacific to the Gulf of Mexico, you'd still have to back that wall up.
Beware of the Russian teddy bear.
Did he or the intelligence services ever believe that Donald Trump was a likely winner?
Initially, no. They thought he was a fringe candidate.
We are in the midst of a rescue mission to save the families who are getting caught up in the death spiral that has become Obamacare.
No one who has coverage because of Obamacare today will lose that coverage. Arise.
People and violate constitutional principles. I've had clients come into my office crying and asking if this means that they're going to be deported. I have friends who called me crying last night saying that they don't feel safe going outside in the street.
Welcome back to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100.
We's back.
We're back out of break, and right now we have a well-renowned person on the phone for this second half, and we're going to go through some national issues right here. We're going to talk a lot about some politics right now because you know we're a national show, so we have to keep it on the line. You know, in 5 days, a lot of resistance is going to start going on. And I don't like to see us go into resistance mode. I want to see us go into a mode where we work together to better our community. And personally, I see it a little bit different than everybody. I hope that this administration is successful and attempt to work on the things that President Obama put in place. But we do know last night they did appeal the Affordable Care Act.
Yep. In the middle of the night.
That's going to possibly crash the insurance system. So we're going to talk about that. But on the phone, before I bring them in with us, we have a well-renowned activist and person who comes into these neighborhoods and do a lot. If you're in the city of Cleveland, you know him by doing the Get Smart in the Park program. And we just want to pay a little respect to our next caller. So everybody just give us a minute, and we want you to know one thing.
You know, and they come from envy and jealousy and hate, amen, and greed. Amen. But you have so many of your own that that's like nothing. Amen. But here I could just see Moses overwhelmed with joy, thinking about this good news. This is good news. They're going to love to hear this. I mean, they're going to want to hear this. In spite of all the time they see Moses coming. Oh, here he comes, with another sermon. Here he comes, trying to preach some more. And Moses had begun to feel that.
On the phone with us tonight on Stop the Madness, Keep It 100, we have Pastor A.J. Thompson. He's a well-known book writer also of A Stranger Among Strangers through the eyes of a decorated armed force veteran. He also does community work and activist work in the communities, such as I said, Get Smart in the Park. Pastor A.J. Thompson, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you.
We are right here. We're Facebook Live. We are Instagram, YouTube Live, and we are on internet radio. And we're going to talk some serious issues with you, especially last week. You put some postings up about the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. You're aware that the Senate voted it to repeal it last night?
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about that.
I think it's a sad day. And I think it's primarily due to
our own black people and poor people alike across the country because they never supported it. Brother Sean, I hear people all the time talking about I don't have no medical, don't want nobody to do nothing for me. And I asked them, have you signed up for Obamacare yet? Well, no. Stuff like that. And I have taken people, have them sign up, and it helped them and reduce their costs. Some even got a refund back for money they had paid. So I know that it worked, but it didn't work because people did not apply for it as they were supposed to have done.
The other thing is, before we get into you, we want to talk about what do you see coming forward in the next 7 days. In Washington tomorrow, you have the Women's March on Washington of 1 million women going to protest the election. On the 18th, you have the National National Action Network protesting in Washington. You have more protesters going than you have people who's going to celebrate the inauguration of our 45th president. So what do you see coming down the line and in the future on this? I mean, do you see us coming together, or do you see, just tell us what you think was getting ready to happen.
Well, I don't see us coming together like that because I see going to march on Washington and having all these different things is a show, but we need to learn to do the real things that we need to do right at home.
Come on.
Because unless we learn how to do those things, going somewhere or talking to somebody won't make a difference. We're talking about, I heard you talking earlier about some of the shootings and stuff like that. But it's so many things that play a role into that, like the free food. People think free food program is something good, but it ain't good if you turn it into a lifestyle, because then you're missing all the things you need from your family, for your family, for yourself. And so therefore it turns into crime and violence and everything else. And so the problem that we face that need to be fixed is within ourselves and within our own community. Can't nobody else fix what is broken. We have to fix it.
We're looking at this right here, Pastor, on 30,000 dreamers right now do not know where their future is. And since they believed in the government and signed up on all their things, with the 30,000 dreamers, do you actually think that come the 22nd that they're going to start the deportation and snatch these kids up after the government told them that they wouldn't?
No, I don't think they're going to do that. I think it might be some, but no, I don't. I really don't think they're going to do that.
Okay. Oh, hold on. We lost the pastor on the phone right there. Pastor Thompson, if you can hear us, if you can reconnect, we're going to try to reconnect. Right there, we had Pastor Thompson on the phone. We got disconnected.
He was making a lot of valid points.
Oh,
man.
we're gonna get him back up on the line. Give me a minute. Control room, give us a minute. We're gonna get him right back up on the line. What we was talking about is in 25 days, the inauguration and the things that's happened. We was talking about the ACA with well-renowned pastor, Pastor A.J. Thompson, and we're going to try to get him back up on the air right there. So let's see what's happening there. Let's go to
Constitution, to study about it, and then put it into action.
Okay, because it
You
does
have to
say
be willing to do that.
okay, because it does say that we the people of the people and for the people, and I agree totally with you that that's 100% right. That we are the government, and we have to start standing up as a people, because it all begins and ends at home. Wouldn't you say that, Pastor?
I would 100%.
So so
I
what?
mean, and plus, once you know your power and your position, you are empowered by that.
Then you can begin to do something. Once you realize that you have the power, you can stand up and then begin to do something, because it all begins and ends again at home. And we
Right.
have to stop being afraid. That would, I in my opinion, that would be one of the first steps. We have to stop being afraid by thinking that these people that we put in power actually have the power, because we still have the power. But once we put somebody in a position, we can no longer sit back and just let them take control. We have to monitor them every step of the way at all costs.
Yeah, just the same. If you had your business and you had somebody hired working for you, and they wouldn't done the job, would you continue to pay them? No.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you might check them, then you don't. If you check them, they don't change. You're gonna get rid of them. You ain't gonna wait till the next election. You ain't gonna wait till you hire somebody else first. You're gonna boot them out. Period.
Right. Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely. So
but if if you don't know how to do that, then you'll be standing around somewhere like most people do, just pole mouthing. Somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to help us, and that somebody is you.
right. So what we need to do is we need to begin to educate ourselves by getting into the Constitution, by doing something different, instead of doing what they call an insanity and running into the same old wall, running our heads into the same wall. Do something different. Get up, get out. First of all, and start off by getting up and getting out and voting, because a lot of our people didn't get out and vote, and that would make a change. Getting up, getting out, and voting, and then getting into the library, going in, not just in the library, but the Library of Congress, and learning the Constitution and what your rights actually are, and getting together with other folks and educating them so that we can begin to stand up and move forward.
Well, right. I mean, even the people who do vote, they don't know what their vote is worth, so they just vote, and that's the end of it. That's not the end of it. That's just the beginning of it.
And you
I mean,
absolutely
you got
right.
to, well,
Go right ahead,
you
Pastor.
got to know what you're supposed to do with that vote. Your vote, that makes you responsible for monitoring the people that you got hired.
And you
have a
absolutely
duty
right.
to supervise them.
You
You
absolutely
have
right.
a duty to check them. And you might say, well, I can't get nobody to go with me. But if you look at this Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Bible, okay, it gives one single person power to take some action. That'll be difficult because all the people that he taking action for will be the one who's giving them trouble and a hard time because they don't understand that they have that power.
Right here, Pastor, I want to ask you this. We Facebook Live. Facebook, I'm sorry, we can't pump too much sound in on the interview, so I'm sorry if some of you can't hear it because we tied into 4 different social media outlets and everybody has their own little thing and it's drawn down. But, Pastor, you wrote a book about PSD of American veterans, Stranger Among Strangers, and your book I read and it was very, very articulate, but it goes right to the problem of what happened last week. So we're going to talk about that a little bit about when a military veteran went to seek help and went to the FBI and said that he heard voices and people was talking in his head. CIA was telling him to fight for ISIS, and he gave them his gun, and they took him for evaluation and stuff, but then they turned around and let him go and gave his gun back, and he went to Orlando, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and shot up the airport. What can we do for our veterans to stop this from happening, especially when they reach out for help and they're not getting it the way they should?
Well, I think the biggest thing that can help is when at the out processing, that they have an in-depth orientation about what's available to the veterans at that time. So a lot of veterans don't know what's available or what kind of help is available. And then the mental health system that is available, it needs a complete overhaul because most of the people who work there don't have any compassion whatsoever toward those veterans. And so therefore, once somebody go there and they're treated so badly, they won't go there for help because they don't feel like, I'm just using this as an example, young man taking 3 tours to Iran, and he go for help, and the person he going to for help can't even give him a smile.
Yes, that is.
So right there, he's instantly in enemy territory.
Well, even with
You're
your
making all those things happen that could happen. You're helping to make that happen.
with your book that you wrote, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's some personal experience. It's a major rejection from family, friends, returning home. And everybody's changed. You've changed. You're not the same. And nobody recognizes anybody. So it turns into a hostile situation. And it can put you on a mission that you was on. And kind of have a reenactment of that mission in what's supposed to be a peacetime and among friendlies. And so it can turn bad because for the simple reason that the military guy, he's been trained so many ways to kill and so many ways to survive, and he's been trained to look out for people. So even in that state, usually his first thought of mind is still to look out for people because he's still trained and conditioned to defend our country and our countrymen, the Constitution and the flag.
So right here, this is that's a classic point. Defend the country and come back. That you brought this back to bring the point of the Russia reset and what we dealing with Russia on the hacking of our election, with Russia interfering with Syria, and then the invasion of other companies and other countries. Do you see this happening right here? Because on the 21st, when Donald Trump get inaugurated, a lot of people haven't thought about this and stuff, but he has businesses around the world, and they're going to be rich targets for terrorists. Anybody that goes in their hotels or go to his golf courses around the world now have to think, is this going to be attacked by a terrorist? Because he has stated that he's going to go and wipe ISIS out. Do the question in the chat room is American troops right now going to go around the world to protect his property? And do you see more fighting or us getting involved in a second war? Because we're still at war with Afghanistan. What you see about that?
Well, no, I don't see that, but I can tell you, as being in military and special forces and being on some missions that I should not have been on because they were not sanctioned by our government, and we didn't know that. So saying that to say the United States, the people that we have employed that are our employees in the government system, they have a tendency to going out throwing a rock and hiding their hand, and the people don't know anything about that. And so a lot of times when Russia come over or when terrorists come over, they usually retaliating to something that one of these corrupt people have done in their country in the name of making more money.
So, as I was telling our audience earlier, and then you listened to the show, that we like to thank you for that. We really want to send our best out to your wife. Also, tell her that we're gonna have to get her on the show also, cause she was the start of me really kicking in and starting up my web station and getting me going. So I got to throw her props because she reformed my idea of what I wanted to do to get the word out. But you have special programs going on right now for your church and everything. So why don't you tell our listeners, since in 19 cities on internet radio and across the web. Why don't you tell us what your church is doing and what you're doing for the community, and just give yourself a shout out so they can know how to get in touch with you and help you with your projects?
Right now, we're preparing for Getting Smart in the Park 2017 Spring Edition. It's our first spring edition of the event. This is our 7th year. The spring edition is going to be geared towards combating poverty and crime and violence, and it's going to be a kickoff of getting people to plant them some food. We're trying to break the cycle of people begging for food and not being employed, and we want to show people how to plant them some food, how to get employed, or how to start a business. We're going to try to make a major connect. And with that, we have a giveaway, and it's going to be giving away a 2017 Ram truck along with 10 other great prizes. One of them is going to be a $10,000 scholarship. Going to be a couple of shopping sprees worth $1,000 each. Because we're trying to bring some good things to our community, because our community and individuals in our community are in need of a major win right now. They need to win something.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
They need to have something positive going.
Now,
And everything that they think is positive is not.
Pastor, can you tell our listeners?
Call,
Can you tell our listeners, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but can you tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you and how they can get out there and get involved in this program for those of our listeners that are listening in right now that may not know how to do that?
Yeah, the number to get engaged and getting smarter in the park is 216-543-1817. That number, 216-543-1817. Or you can go to the website, and it's tphsarc.com. That's tphsarc.com. Click on events, and then you can click on a Ram truck if you want to get a ticket for the Ram truck, or you can connect with us on Facebook. Just Getting Smart in the Park.
Well, Pastor, thank you very much for that information, and I personally want to thank you for your service to this country, and I also want to thank you again for what you're doing, for spreading God's word, for reaching out to the community, for teaching the community to stand up and teaching us how to take back what is ours. Because I'm a firm believer. My mama always said everything begins and ends at home. And I'm a firm believer in that. And that's a beautiful thing that you're doing with teaching people that we don't have to go out and beg. We can depend on ourselves. We can become, once again, self-sufficient and independent. And I want to thank you so much for that. And I want to tell my listeners, listen, y'all, this is what we need to do. Exactly what the pastor is saying. We can no longer just depend on our government. We can no longer just depend on, and no offense to our pastors, to our churches, to our teachers in school. It all begins and ends at home, people, and we got to do our part.
And Pastor, I want to ask you another question so our chat room come in.
Yes, sir.
What is the church role in government? Everybody seems to have a different idea or different opinion. We was talking about this, so since I got you on the line, we was with another pastor, but since I got you on the line, tell us what you believe as being a man of God and a spokesperson for God, or I don't know if I should say a spokesperson, but as a person to follow the work of God. Tell us what is the role of the church in government.
Well, the role of the church is to be an example all the way around. That's the first role of it, and to encourage people to find themselves, to find their position, and that includes the Constitution, that includes the Bible, and to be empowered, to learn to be the head and not the tail.
Amen.
Pastor A.J. Thompson, we'd like to thank you for coming in with us today. we got to have you, and as I said again, we have to get your wife, and we have to get y'all into the studio so we can spend more time with you. And we really, really appreciate you showing Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 some love. And we would like to
thank you
for calling in with us, and we'd like to have you back on our show very, very soon.
It's my pleasure. Now, thank you for your service too.
All right, thank you very, very much, Pastor.
God bless you,
and we
Pastor.
will be getting back in touch with you. This is Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 on STMK Radio 100. Right now, we are Facebook Live, and we are Twitter, and we're going to go into a break.
AP Update, I'm Ed Donahue. The Justice Department report on the Chicago Police Department shows for years the constitutional rights of residents were violated. There's racial bias against blacks, officers using excessive force, and killing people who didn't pose a threat. Vanita Gupta is head of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. She said the neighborhoods hardest hit were Chicago's South and West. AP Update, I'm Ed Donahue. The Justice Department report on the Chicago Police Department shows for years the constitutional rights of residents were violated. There's racial bias against blacks, officers using excessive force, and killing people who didn't pose a threat. Vanita Gupta is head of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. She said the neighborhoods hardest hit were Chicago's south and west sides.
These breakdowns breed distrust and undermine police legitimacy in the very communities that need fair, proactive policing the most. Distrust of law enforcement makes residents unwilling to share information, and that makes it harder for officers to solve and prevent crimes.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch says negotiations between the Justice Department and the city of Chicago to implement police reforms.
Welcome to Stop the Madness, Keep It
after
100.
Donald Trump becomes president next week. Trump's
on the
stance
phone with
on
us,
this kind
we
of
had
Justice Department
Pastor
investigation
A.J.
isn't clear.
Thompson on the phone
AP
with us
Update.
earlier.
I'm Ed Donahue.
And we like to keep it right there. We're going to go back out for another break.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the Wacky Waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the Wacky Waterfall.
It's a shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico.
And now back to John with the weather.
Yes, Andy. Tonight, a big storm. Storm this! Get the soccer offer from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. With every 2 medium-pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free! Yes, Pepsi soccer ball! 4 cans. Don't miss the Pizza Hut and Pepsi soccer offer. With every 2 medium-pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. What about the weather, Eddie? Don't resist and call 19,000 now.
Hello, sir. I hear you having problems putting together your new kitchen unit.
Oh, yeah, the instructions say that.
What now?
The instruction manual. It makes absolute...
Stop reading that.
Well, what would you suggest I use?
I suggest you use the fact you're a man. Huh? Guys who got pride never relied on no guide, sucker. I'll give you some step-by-step instructions. Buy Snickers, remove wrapper, bite chocolate, and get some nuts.
Go to GetSomeNuts.tv for more Snickers man coaching.
You're listening to STMK Radio 100.
Fan base is big, I can't lose. Sugar bow down, I'm the next to rule, but I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under, cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake, cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today, but yo, that's the way the story goes, so I was told. Following the ramble down the yellow brick road, believe at the end ain't no pie to go. Just some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
You ain't never ever seen a gangster quite like me.
You know I don't give them, and never gave them. I'm just living it up.
No, I hold it down, baby, because I'm certified G.
I'm just living it up. The money can't go with me, so I'm spending it up.
Money ain't a problem, still love and living comfortably.
Never giving it up. I made it all on my own. You ain't getting above.
Shawty got it live with the players from K16.
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You've been listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio